I'm happy to buy the stock at these prices, and I'll be happy to buy the stock at elevated prices because I'm there to support the shareholders and do what I ask others to do, and that's support the company and buy the stock.
Hey everybody, it's Stuart Smith and welcome back to SmallCapVoice.com for another online business briefing where we shine a spotlight on some of the smartest and freshest plays out there in the market today. And we're welcoming back Brian Bonner. He is the CEO of Dalrada Financial Corporation. Dalrada is traded on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol DFCO. Brian, wonderful to speak with you again. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you. I'm sorry to say we're back doing the virtual thing. It was wonderful to visit you in your offices a couple of weeks ago and see the operations there in San Diego County, California. But a lot's been going on with your company. So I want to take a step back and tell the listeners what we've spoken about for the most part prior to this, which is the heat pump industry for the company. Now, listeners, it's important that you go back and watch some of our previous videos because we've spoken to Brian in Milan, where he was at an opportunity for the company at a conference where a lot of the heat pumps have already they're entrenched, if you will, in Europe. We've put out articles here that in the United States, they are quickly supplanting the existing status quo, what we use for heating and cooling, because they're more efficient, they're more affordable, they're better for the environment. We can go through all of that. But today I want to talk about another subsidiary for the company, and that's Jifi. And the reason why we're speaking about them, Brian, obviously, you know, is JifiRx.com was just released yesterday, a beautiful website. It goes over the company. Viewers, you can take a deep dive into this company. I'm sure Kevin has already put it over my shoulder here. It's a great website. But Brian, before we get into some of the meat and potatoes of this conversation, give us the backstory then. Who is Jifi?
Jifi rose from the ashes of COVID testing, basically. When that stopped, we had this great organization. We needed to pivot it and get it into another market rather than lose that infrastructure we'd built. So we acquired a couple of licenses that provide and fill scripts issued by doctors. And we specialize in certain areas of the market, and it's growing exponentially. It's a wonderful thing to see.
So Brian, let me ask you another follow-up question then on Jifi, because I know operations and revenue creation started only back in July 2023, but we've seen a real impressive revenue run rate from the company. Can we get some numbers from you on that?
Sure. Approximately in the first quarter, ending September, we hit about $3 million. The second quarter, we hit $6 million, therefore a doubling. And I anticipate that doubling to continue.
Yeah, that's very impressive. I'm not sure that we see that kind of revenue generation from even entire entities when you're talking about microcap stocks, and that's just one of your wholly owned subsidiaries.
Yeah, it's very exciting stuff at the moment. Challenging, but exciting.
And it's, again, a beautiful new website that tells you everything about the business model. And really, one of the things that my takeaway was in some of our pre-conversations leading up to this interview, which of course is what we do, we talked about how the rapid growth of Jifi is really allowing Dalrada as a whole to buoy up its infrastructure, sort of the rising tide lifts all boats theories. It's really allowing some latitude for other subsidiaries within the company to have the time to do things the right way, which I know is very important to you based on our prior conversations.
Correct. I set out a number of years ago to form basically vertical strategic initiatives. One was technology, and that was spearheaded by a group in Bangalore, India, that there's about 150 or so software engineers. The other was a green energy platform that we continue to talk about. And the third was a pharmaceutical platform. The reasoning for that was we understood that certain of our growth would have been slower than others. And the pharmacy has really been the spearhead of the fastest growing leg we have today. But I see that all being overtaken towards the end of this calendar year by the heat pumps and the green energy initiative. The technology initiative is just a solid set of revenues we get, and it's also great for supporting our own internal developments with our products and services that we offer today.
Well, and from a corporate side of things, Dalrada has been very busy as well. Since our last recording, there was an 8K that announced an authorized share reduction, highlighting huge growth potential Then we just had a Form 4 filed recently. And Brian, obviously, this is you purchasing shares in the open market. Let's get your thoughts behind these purchases.
Well, I continue to support the stock in the open market. I've been doing that for the past 12 months. I will continue to do so. I'm happy to buy the stock at these prices, and I'll be happy to buy the stock at elevated prices because I'm there to support the shareholders and do what I ask others to do, and that's support the company and buy the stock.
Yeah, and that's got to be music to the ears of your shareholders and existing investors. And also, that is a call to new investors to understand the type of CEO that you'd be investing in with a guy like Brian Bonner. Let's talk a little bit about an area that we haven't touched on before as well, which is the carbon credit market, data mining innovation. That press release was just 5 days ago. Today, dateline is April 9th. Tell us a little bit about this.
I consider that a bit of a sleeper that we issued. The reality of carbon credits as we deploy our products and services into the market, that's going to provide us an annuity stream of revenues that goes straight to the bottom line. And as the market continues to penetrate the ESG technology, we'll be able to capture these credits. We'll be able to offer them to people that want to buy them and trade them. And we see that as a really, I was going to use I hate using the word unique, but it's a very consistent revenue generator for us that no one else has.
Well, again, viewers, we're speaking with the CEO and founder of Dalrada Financial Corporation. That's Brian Bonner. Brian, another press release that I want to talk about is the one that just came out April 8th. Dalrada Financial Corporation subsidiary, Dalrada Home Corp, forms advisory board and announces inaugural members. If you haven't read this press release, if you're not on the DFCO watch list yet or mail list, there's some pretty heady names in here. Tell us a little bit about Roland and Ted and who you've announced in this press release.
They're the best three musketeers that I could rustle up to help us advise this forging market. I personally was not terribly excited about the home heat pump market, but my board redirected me accordingly, and I went out to find three people that could really add value very, very quickly with a very strong, proven track record. Ted Regularly, I've known personally for over 20 years. I've known Roland for just over a year. He's a great guy, did wonderful, wonderful things at Microsoft. And the other gentleman I haven't met directly yet, but he comes with a home building past that is going to give us great knowledge as we penetrate that market.
Well, Brian, finally, there was a beautiful YouTube video announced or released, I should say, on the Dalrada YouTube page. You can see it here. You can see the link there. And it talks a lot about that video, really lays the groundwork for this press release as well, which is Dalrada Financial Corporation announces heat pump product expansion, enters home and residential heat pump market. Dateline on that, viewers, is April 2nd. We've known about this move for your company. It's an obvious extension of what you've already been doing in the heat pump market. But this has got to be exciting for you. I mean, the opportunity that's at hand for your company is absolutely immense in Europe, of course, as we've already spoken, but here in the United States as well, Brian.
Absolutely, and we anticipate seeing revenues from the home heat pumps in this quarter ending June. And we anticipate that growing at a tremendous rate of knots. I think that in Europe specifically, the home heat pump market is well established, and I've got a feeling by seeing things I'm seeing now is going to quickly expand in the US. As a matter of fact, I flew into San Diego Airport the other day, and I was surprised to see heat pumps deployed at the new San Diego Airport. And I immediately came and asked one of our board members, Anthony Zalesi, why he had failed not to get the heat pump order. So we're going to start turning the heat up.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I guess I was asleep at the wheel as well, because now I sort of, every time I see one when I'm driving around, I'm like, wait, that's a heat pump. I really understand it now. And you're right. I flew out a couple of weeks ago from that very airport, saw them as well. Again, I want to go back to the outset of the conversation, viewers, listeners. We were speaking about the other wholly owned subsidiary for Dalrada Financial Corp, and that's Genifique. And I want you to go check out that website. That's GENEFICRX.com. Genifique rx.com. Brian, it's always wonderful to catch up with you. There's a ton of news to talk about with your company. Kudos to you for aligning yourself shoulder to shoulder with your investors with these purchases that I thought was recent, but you're right. Looking back, you've been doing this for well over a year. Brian, thanks for your insights, your candor, and the opportunity to speak with you today.
Well, thank you. Maybe we could challenge some of your readers to advise us every time they spot a heat pump, what town, what city, and what state it's in. And let's see who can spot the most. Maybe we'll get somebody a free heat pump for their home.
Boom. I love it. Let's come up with this. We will come up with some kind of contest here, right here at smallcapvoice.com. That's a great idea. Brian, awesome speaking with you. Everybody, add DFCO to your watch list. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and Brian just said it. Hit the comments below. Tell us where you're seeing heat pumps, and tell us, more importantly, where you want to see heat pumps. For Brian Bonner, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in.